Going back to when you first...
Although I will say, I used to love when she'd be upside down, her dress would fall down, her skirt would fall down, her panties would be showing, Tommy's head's all bloody, and it looks like he just went down when the girl was in a period. That's what it looked like, though.
Did Paulie, like, when you first came in, or when the gimmick started getting over, did he start making any promises or anything to try to get you to stay, or did it...
No, there wasn't, I don't know if anybody was, I don't think Vince was knocking. I don't know if I think I could have went to WCW. I'm guessing. I don't remember. I probably could have went to WCW any time as a page.
Yeah.
But I had no interest in it. I didn't have to. I was there. I didn't want to leave.
Okay. Like, between you and Paulie, like, did he give you a lot of creative control, or did you have to go through him on everything, or did he just say...
Oh, no. Well, my matches were mine. Whatever I wanted to do,
Yeah.
Like I said, when I came up with the Dudley Boys idea, I had to give it to Paulie. If Paulie would have said no, there wouldn't have been the Dudleys. Nova, I seen Nova in an indie show, and there was this Batman, Adam West character, just a farce, just a mockery of superheroes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought, man, and like he's out there trying to be a babyface, and the people are shitting on him, It's fucking entertaining. So, of course, I told Paul and Todd, they're like, ugh, another one of Raven's dumb ideas. It's not that they were dumb ideas, it's just that they were drunken ideas. So they're just like, ugh. But, Nova got over $1 million too, now he's got a hell of a career going.
Yeah. How did you feel about going from, like, to going into, like, the hardcore style? Because that was, like, nothing that you really did before you went into ECW.
I love the hardcore stuff. I thought that was, I think it's simple, I think it's, many ways it's a lot easier, Many ways it's more difficult. It takes more balls. If you notice, like, fucking Big Show, 7'4", hit him with a garbage can, he still puts his arm up, which, fucking, I don't get that. To me, it takes a lot of balls to just stand there and stick your head there and let something hit you, Even though a garbage can does not hurt at all. I'm sure it hurts to a normal person, but after you do this for years, it doesn't hurt. But, the chairs still hurt, you know what I mean? But it takes a lot of balls, and to me, if you put your hand up, it looks fake as fuck, And it's very rare that you ever get, and although the other converse is, well, if it was real, why would you let somebody hit you in the head like that? Well, it's part of the show. There's certain things, why do you bounce off the rope? Certain things are fudged because it is a show. But very rarely do you ever get a really good, clean, Rock's pretty good at it. Rock's pretty good about getting that hand at the last second.
Yeah.
Take half the blow without making it, like this. I give you an example, fucking, Gary Wolf was a good friend of mine at the time, and a lot of these people that were good friends at the time, it's not that I'm not friends now with them, but we've drifted apart, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still think Gary's a great guy. But they used to, him and Anthony, they'd abuse Stevie. Stevie took a lot of abuse back then. And, whenever he'd get chair shots, they'd chair shot Stevie extra hard, everybody would, which is bullshit, because all they saw was the clueless putts, not realizing that Stevie was a better worker than every one of them, I thought he was one of the best workers in the company. But I remember we had the double dog collar match, which was really, like, one of the best matches I've ever been in.
The one with the Pitbulls.
Yeah, the Pitbulls with Gary Wolf. And so it was Stevie, so there finally comes a time where now Stevie gets to give a chair shot to Gary, first time ever. And I remember Gary put his whole arm up, and I just thought, fuck, you guys just... I thought my respect for him just dropped a big notch at that point. Because, like, fuck, you guys abused the fuck out of him. But then when it comes time to take it, and then Anthony the Pitbull fucking, he didn't want to take his super bomb. Super bombed everybody in the company, which is what Bubba does now. The fucking super bomb, a power bomb from the top rope. But back then, nobody did that. And back then, I was fucking, oh, that's a scary fucking bump, They did it to everybody. And in that match, I was like, all right, me and Steve are going to double fucking super bomb you guys. It was part because you're going to kick out of our finishes, we're going to kick out of yours, you'll use ours, we'll use theirs, you know what I mean? Dog and Pony show. And Anthony didn't want to do it. And then Gary's like, fuck you, you pussy, we do it there. And that's what me and Steve were like, fuck, you do it to everybody else, you're not going to take one. So we pumped him into doing it. But I don't know, if you're going to dish it out, you got to take it. You know what I mean? If you're going to, I have a problem with that,
Yeah.
That said, Gary's a really good guy. Anthony's a schmuck. But Gary's a really good guy. But it's just, when he put his arm up, I was like, oh, come on,
Did you think that, I remember it was like 2 out of 3 falls for the tag titles, so do you think that match was going to turn out as good as it did when going into it? Because the Pitbulls weren't the best workers.
Yeah, but that never bothered me. Bad workers never bothered me. Because if you're a really good worker, you know how to work around people's limitations. Just like Paulie knows how to shoot TV around him, I knew how to work around him. I never really worried about that stuff. I knew if they stuck to what I came up with, it'd be a hell of a match, I mean, but then, you know, a lot of the boys didn't think it was going to be like that, because when I suggested ether, when I told them I was going to use ether for one of the falls, the boys were like, ugh, they just kind of groaned, because I guess they tried it once before and people shit on it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, look, I go, you have to have ether. You can't just do it and just pretend you have a rag. It's got to stink out the whole building. Like, to me, that's all part of being prepared, initiative, you know, making extra rain jackets, you know what I mean, part of the whole product. So I went out. Apparently it's not so anymore, but bowling, something to do with bowling, the bowling ball cleaners or something, used to have a bit of ether in them, which I think they've since stopped doing. But they did at the time, so I got one of those, I got two of those, and I dumped it in a rag. I mean, the whole building could smell it. You knew it was fucking ether. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even if you never smelled the ether, you knew that was ether. You know what I mean? And so it got over it. People bought it. In fact, actually, I didn't notice till, I didn't realize at the time, but I put enough of that in there, even though it was such a small percentage. And when I held the rag in Anthony's face for so long, he actually was half knocked out by it.
Alright, let's look at some of the more famous ECW angles. The first one is the one that nobody ever saw, the crucifixion one on Sandman.
Oh, tremendous.
Yeah, that one, for people who don't know, was when you crucified him to, it's like a cross.
What a cross.
Deal. Yep, and...
Which WWF stole later with the fake.
With the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like they tried to steal my gimmick with Edge. I mean, if you remember Edge's original gimmick was just a complete rip-off of the Raven character.
Yep. What was the whole idea behind that crucifixion angle? Did you think that it was going to be anywhere close to that controversial?
It shouldn't even have been controversial. What happened was, I got out of rehab, and I knew I needed to make an impact, because all of a sudden I just disappeared, and Paulie had to say, look, Brady needs personal time, and I went to rehab. I think on TV he said that I went to Jim Morrison's grave with Sandman's son, with Tyler. We took there to go commiserate at Jim Morrison's grave. And Paulie used to always promise we were going to go shoot videos. We were going to go to Paris. Okay, Paulie. We're going to go to Paris and shoot Jim Morrison at the grave. Shoot the Jim Morrison grave. So I knew I needed to come back with an impact. How do I come back with an impact? Yeah, so back to the creative thing. Yeah, with my stuff, I had a lot of leeway, a lot of saying what I did. But I mean, with Paulie, you could shoot a lot of it down too.
Yeah.
You know, if I go, man, we're going to build a cross. We're going to hang Sandman on it. So I actually had Sandman build the cross himself because I'm not very good with tools. So he built this cross, and it had to be like, so I figured that's pretty cool. You build your own cross to crucify yourself. It had to be about 7 foot tall, about whatever, like another half a foot on each side wingspan, you know, and built it, hid it under the ring. A lot of everything is preparation, psychology, placement, blocking the scene. So I was like, all right, how do I string him up on it without giving it away until he's strung up on it? And how can I get the most out of stringing him up? So we put it under the ring. Now, if the hard camera is shooting this way, and let's see, okay, all right, let's turn this over here. So if the hard camera is shooting this way, right, and here's the ring right here. Now, if you put it on this near side, all the people that stand up in the front row are going to block anything that low to the ground. And so as long as you don't have your handheld shooter, which we made sure we told them, they wouldn't shoot it, so we put it on this side. Now, how do we keep all the people from seeing it? So what I did was I had, under the ring, and I had Meanie, Nova, and Stevie, and me, all with our backs surrounding us. And we throw Sandman out, so now we got all four backs, and we've kind of made a semicircle so nobody can see in to what we're doing. We pull Sandman forward, we pull it across out from underneath, put Sandman on it, tie up his hands, tie up his hands. For a thorny crown, because it's ECW, we got barbed wire, made a barbed wire thorny crown to stick on his head. And then we made sure that as we hoisted him up, he was going to lean his head to the side, you know, and cross his feet. But I think we put a little thing for his feet to stand on, too, so he wouldn't just hang by the ropes. And so we're pulling it out, you know, kind of blocking the whole thing with our bodies. And it wasn't until we all turned the cross up that everybody could kind of see. And still, and we hoisted, and then everybody could see it. And it was tremendous. Absolutely brilliant angle. It was perfect. The people probably completely misread the crowd on that. The people were completely into it. It was the right kind of heat, and the people bought it. In the meantime, Paulie was trying to court Kurt Angle into coming in. Kurt Angle has since said that he wasn't that offended by it, but I think he was more offended than he claims. Kurt's a great guy, by the way. Just a phenomenal guy.